Welcome to The First Word. I'm your host, Paul Crouch Jr. Today I have a very special First Word program based on the true story of the orphan children of Sudan who walked across Africa to escape death and as adults came to America to find freedom and a new life. There have been countless documentaries and stories written about the Lost Boys of Sudan and their incredible trek, but this movie is a fictional account written by Margaret Nagle, based on research and real characters set in the 1980s. The cast is led by Reese Witherspoon and includes actors who are actual Sudanese refugees. This is a powerful, well-written, emotional story full of faith, hope, love, and family. So stay with us as we hear from the cast and creators of the inspiring movie, The Good Lie.
The film is a story of Sudanese refugees that came to America and had to acclimate to American life. It makes you really think about other people's life experiences.
The Good Lie offers real insight into the tragedy of that time and the triumph of the human spirit that existed through those who managed to survive.
Set.
Getting to actually work with real refugees, Emmanuel Jal and Ger Douani, really brought an authenticity to the story.
This is called ice. This is what winter in America feels like.
The story is almost like my story.
I've lived in a refugee camp for many years.
One of the things I said is we have to go shoot in Africa and we have to cast real Sudanese people.
Your stars look so much like ours.
And that they really brought the sensibility of people who had lived in refugee camps and were invaluable in the process of making this film.
Many church groups took in these refugees and really made it their mission to help them get resettled.
Young refugees wait and wait and wait, and finally their dream comes true. They're gonna get to come to America.
Our names are on that list!
You must be the guys from Somalia, Senegal.
Sudan.
Did your luggage come down the chute? Great.
And that initiates a new chapter in their lives, but a far more complicated one, of course, than they could ever dream.
In America, we are nothing.
That is not true.
This is a journey of a country.
We have to tell the world our story.
What's our story, anyway?
I'm not sure. They seem pretty traumatized.
I had 34 brothers and sisters, and they all died but one.
You need to be here with us.
I don't think they're gonna make it if they're not together.
The Lost Boys story is an important story to tell because these things still happen in Africa.
It's certainly a film that will make you see a different side of life that I think a lot of people are interested in but just don't know much about.
I wonder if your church group would help me hosting a refugee. You sure you're ready to take this on? Definitely.
It entertains on a lot of levels. It's a great human interest story, it's funny in places, and it's very, very emotional.
It was a really exciting experience being able to make a film like this.
Holy crap! You can't just break into somebody's house!
There is a reason you do not have a husband.
Okay, thank you so much.
The Good Lie accomplishes a couple of different things. One, it offers real insight into Sudan, the Last Boys of Sudan, the tragedy of that time, and the triumph of the human spirit that existed through those who managed to survive, and that's what our story focuses on. But The Good Lie is also classically American in that it's an immigrant story, and that's what America has always been, a nation of immigrants.
I was really immediately pulled in by the story of the Lost Boys and the story that I'd sort of heard in the news and knew a little bit about, but didn't have any extensive knowledge of any particular one story, and just seeing their struggle and how that they fought for their lives and to survive, and you know, with so little resource and so little help, and then had this opportunity to start over again in America, and what inherent challenges that brought for them, and that it was this incredible opportunity to come to America and start a new life, but it was also, you know, an incredible culture clash, and for a lot of Sudanese people, and you know, also dealing with sort of the trauma of the life that they'd had before them.
My name is Mamer Deng. These are my brothers, Jeremiah and Paul. You must be Pamela Lowy from Faith-Based Charities?
Oh, no, I'm from the Forrester Employment Agency. I'm going to help you find jobs, but I wasn't supposed to meet you till tomorrow, but the gal who was supposed to pick you up from your resettlement agency got stuck in her car. So, but anyway. Okay, did your luggage come down the chute? Great. Okay, let's go.
The movie looks at this from a couple of different perspectives. Of course, the Sudanese, and you know, the movie identifies what it means to go through that kind of transition, to love what America, you know, could mean to them, and also come to grips with what it really does mean, and the possibilities, and also some of the conflicts, the drama that evolves from, you know, any kind of really dramatic transition like that. The movie then also looks at the impact of the immigrants on Americans, particularly our Reese Witherspoon character, who's, you know, a remarkable character, and is there sort of, you know, harried, trying to live her modern contemporary life. Yes, she wants to be helpful, but there's a lot going on in her world, and she thinks she can solve all of their problems. And, you know, in a lot of ways she does, and in other ways they wind up influencing her, inspiring her, actually, in ways that surprise, hopefully, the audience, and certainly that character.
The film is a story of a few Sudanese refugees that came to America and had to acclimate to American life, and it's a story about clashing cultures, learning to value in other cultures what you don't have in your own. And it's a beautiful story about, you know, about family and togetherness, and that family is where you find it.
I'm sorry if I bring you dishonor, but I cannot do a job I believe in my heart is wrong.
You don't bring me dishonor personally, but this company did vouch for you, and it is a big deal. Let me explain something to you. In America, we have this thing called bosses, and they have too much power for their teeny tiny brains, but you have to put up with it because you need money to live and to eat and to go to school. So I'm gonna try and get you more job interviews. It's not gonna be easy.
I have faith, Yardit.
Yardit?
This is a special name for you.
For me?
Yes, it had great cultural significance.
What does it mean?
It means great white cow.
Okay. Well, it's better than a lot of things I've been called.
For your generous gift of $107, the Word Network will send you this beautiful leather-like lavender Bible for the Spirit-led woman of God. This modern English translation is richly etched with the Word logo and is an excellent study Bible or teaching tool. It includes daily lessons, profiles of Old and New Testament women, scriptures that edify the Word, daily devotions, colorful maps, deeper training on the power of the Holy Spirit, and guidance for your home and family. In addition, there are prayers and contributions from prominent Christian women like Lisa Bevere, Babby Mason, Marilyn Hickey, Mercy Lokolutu, and many others. This unique Bible makes the Word come alive and is perfect for the new believer or seasoned Christian. Call now and order one for yourself or give it as a gift to family and friends. Call 855-730-WORD. That's 855-730-9673. Thank you for your generous financial support. Because of you, we're spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ around the world.
It's my fault. It's all my fault.
What's your fault?
I let my brother be taken away by soldiers instead of me. To protect us. To protect me.
Amir, look at me. I was in the army. I've been to war. Most of us were just average guys being faced with unimaginable things, being asked to make choices no one should have to make. Your brother made a choice that night that was only his to make. It wasn't your choice. You didn't have that power. You never did.
I still hear the sounds of guns and the crying of children. He cries. There were so many, Jack.
As I've always said, it's a story that definitely needs to be told. You know, many people in the Western society, they don't know about this story. No one knows what's actually going on or what actually has happened. And I think this is an amazing way to get it out to the masses and get everybody to know about what's happened.
It is an important story to tell now because our stories are not heard all around the world, you know, and there's a lot of documentary being told in foreigner perspectives, and there's truth about them. There's no doubt about it. But there's nothing in this scale that I've ever done, because even our country split in 2010. There's a lot of people still asking, like, where are you from? What country? You know, what's going on in your country? Nobody know about Sudan. People know about Sudan in whole, but nobody know about South Sudan. You know, and how many billions in this country, in this world? A lot, right? So with The Good Lie, it is perfect that we have to tell the world our story only at one time.
The whole point of it for me was to get the story out. Not everybody knows what happened in South Sudan. They just think that, you know, we're refugees here or something, some war must have happened. But in the script, I felt like the actual first part of the movie with the children was actually one of the most important parts, because I felt like it was more realistic for someone to see what actually happened rather than just hearing about it, you know. So the story in general for me was the most important reason why I was here.
Having all read Huckleberry Finn, can anyone tell me what The Good Lie means?
Huck uses lies to survive in undesirable situations.
Exactly. But later in the book, the lies change. How so?
They change because Huck changes.
Yes, keep going.
When he tells the slave hunters that he has no slaves, his lie is credible. So he lies well. But what is more important is that it is an unselfish lie because it saves Jim. Jim's freedom means more to Huck than the money he would get for turning him in. So it is a good lie.
Could not have said it better.
It is inspired by Lost Boys stories because there was many boys and girls, including myself. I was among those boys that really left the country, Sudan, to escape to Ethiopia, some to Uganda, Kenya, even Egypt, Libya, Chad, Central Africa, and all those countries that really surrounded our country, which is 9 borders. We all spread everywhere when the chaos happened. So I was among those guys, and this is the story that was inspired by those collection of individual stories.
I play the character of Mamere. He is the chief of the group. And his character is, he has so many dimensions to his character. I mean, throughout the whole film, he has to be strong. He has to be the guy that takes lead and look after his family. That's his main goal, to look after his family and to help people. He studies medicine. He wants to be a doctor. And that's just always, that's my mayor through and through. He's always wanted to help people.
You have a very beautiful village.
Thank you. It was my father's.
Your father was a chief?
Yeah, I guess some people would have called him that.
My father was a chief too.
May we visit with your cow?
Be my guest.
Are there any dangerous animals of which we should be warned?
Such as?
Lions.
No, there's no lions here. You're safe.
Thank you.
What's our story, anyway?
I'm not sure. They seem pretty traumatized. When I dropped them off the other night, I said goodbye, and they looked at me like they were never going to see me again.
It's basically about these kids who are in Sudan, and they leave Sudan and they walk for miles and on months on end till they get to a refugee camp in Kakuma in Kenya. And once they get there, they give them food, water, and education. And then what happens is a plane comes in every now and then and collects them and gives them refuge and gives them a lottery ticket to different places in the world, whether it be London, France. And in this situation, it took us to Kansas City. When we get to Kansas City, we meet up with Reese. And Reese's character, Carrie, she helps us get new jobs and helps us integrate into the Western lifestyle.
I mean, you know, I had a dialect coach. I had to lose more weight. I mean, I feel like I'm skinny already, but I had to lose more weight because I'm playing a refugee at the end of the day. They gave me a nutritionist. I mean, it was a lot of work. I had to learn the language as well because I grew up in London, so I didn't know the language. I had to learn, you know, there's certain, in the film, I say bits in Dinka. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was difficult, but I did it.
This is a very important movie for me. My journey as a lost boy is my story, but my story is not only just a lost boy. I was just a boy in a journey, and this is a journey that will continue with a good life, because we have walked thousands of miles. Now it's time for good life to carry on, and then I can just sit in one place and speak to people about it. So to have a movie like this in 2014, while we still have the same problem in South Sudan, is very important.
Their journey is so inspirational. I mean, it really was. And I think Margaret Nagel, who wrote the screenplay, did a beautiful job of, you know, just showing their perseverance and their faith and, you know, just how they never gave up as a culture. And I love that. And the way she told that, and it does, it has all of these themes that I love of just, you know, it's really just a story at the end of the day about family. And it just happens to be the backdrop was, you know, this civil war and this incredible journey. But, you know, they end up in America and obviously found a family with Reese. And it's a great thing to be able to bring all of those into one movie. It's very rare, I think, that you find a screenplay that has all of those elements that, you know, you can laugh and cry and emotionally connect to in such a deep way.
You know, we all grow into ourselves, into each other. So to tell this story going from place to place, all the way to where the story really comes from, it means more than just a movie to all of us.
For your generous gift of $107, the Word Network will send you this beautiful leather-like lavender Bible for the Spirit-led woman of God. This modern English translation is richly etched with the Word logo and is an excellent study Bible or teaching tool. It includes daily lessons, profiles of Old and New Testament women, scriptures that edify the Word, daily devotions, colorful maps, deeper training on the power of the Holy Spirit, and guidance for your home and family. In addition, there are prayers and contributions from prominent Christian women like Lisa Bevere, Babby Mason, Marilyn Hickey, Mercy Locolutu, and many others. This unique Bible makes the Word come alive and is perfect for the new believer or seasoned Christian. Call now and order one for yourself or give it as a gift to family and friends. Call 855-730-WORD. That's 855-730-9673. Thank you for your generous financial support. Because of you, we're spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ around the world.
Well, for me, I felt like it's the best of America. And it really is the best of America. And I come from a family where, you know, my mother's was Republican, my dad was a Democrat, my mother's from Missouri, my dad's South Dakota. We lived on both coasts, and I really wanted to make a movie about how great everybody is when they work together. So sort of the idea is, you know, these boys survive and girls because they work together. They come to America, and what happens is that the two sides of the story, we have like our church lady, Sarah, who's played by Sarah Baker, who's hilarious. We have Reese, who's sort of this non-believer, and just sort of in her own world, and they come together as this incredible force. And I feel like this is a story, and the story of South Sudan is something that brings us together.
You know, I think what you see with that woman, with Pamela Lowy, is that she probably doesn't know where they've been and all that they've experienced, but she's here now to welcome them and hopefully get them started on a good path here.
That's the big idea, and somehow we need to really convey to audiences that you don't know this story. It's not a movie that you've seen before. We're not telling it in a way that you've seen before. Come, open up. It's a journey. You're going on a journey. It's funny. It's uplifting. It's inspiring. It's about faith. It's all about faith.
Wow. So for me, I walked between Ethiopia and Sudan. I was born in Ethiopia because of the civil war in Sudan, and so it was a journey for myself too, because you're reliving this again and you're retelling the story. If I have a brother who was a lost boy, and so it was an honor to get to tell his story, but also find out more about what he had gone through in that sense, and that's how I personally connected this story.
These Christmas decorations are very elaborate, yes?
Oh, I go all out for Christmas. I make my own baby Jesuses out of paper mache.
But Santa Claus doesn't come to Sudan.
Well, he's coming here.
So what time should we be expecting him?
Very late at night. And only if you're good.
He sounds like a burglar to me.
Hey, Mimir, I left some groceries on the porch. Can you help me?
Yes.
Hospital! Lord. Oh, you fall. You fall. I like this Christmas.
In many ways, it's a love letter to faith, but it's also a love letter to people who go on a different path as well. The idea is, whatever your belief is, come together.
What I hope the audience takes away from this is the story and the universal struggles that we all have to go through as humans, and that you do not have to go through this particular event to feel what this person had to feel.
I think this is an important story just because of the incredible arc of the lives lived from these villages being burned down, this epic biblical journey that took place a decade or so ago with thousands of boys and girls across South Sudan and Ethiopia and Kenya, and then, you know, which was only the beginning of their journey.
Carrie's experience of getting to know these three boys and their sister really opens her up in a way that she hasn't before. The director had a really interesting sort of idea that he was playing with thematically, that we as Americans really individuate, and we spend a lot of time by ourselves, or I'll make it on my own. And I think, you know, in this particular part of the Sudan and this culture, you know, it's really about togetherness, and family stays together, and family is where you find it. We find out through the course of the story they're not actually really brothers and sisters, but they function as a family, and the importance of human connection and how much we need each other to communicate, to lean on, to provide for each other. So I think my character learns from them, you know, about what it means to ultimately be a happier person and a more connected person.
It's a great human interest story. It's funny in places, a lot of places. It's very, very emotional. And, you know, without being preached to, you're definitely, you know, you're learning something. You're being asked to look at a situation in a slightly different way that is surprising, very rewarding, and, you know, that in and of itself is entertaining.
This is called ice. This is what winter in America feels like.
Our names are on that list.
Yes, hello, this is Carrie. Pick up who? I'm just supposed to help them find jobs. You must be the guys from Somalia, Senegal.
Sudan.
Did your luggage come down the chute? Great.
Where is your husband?
No, I'm not married. I provide for myself.
Your survival skills are very impressive.
Thanks. I'll call you tomorrow morning and we'll start the job hunt. I need your help.
Are there any dangerous animals in this area?
Such as?
Lions.
No, there's no lions here. You're safe. What's their story, anyway?
I'm not sure. They seem pretty traumatized.
Made my way to the borderline.
I had 34 brothers and sisters, and they all died but one.
And she need to be here with us.
You don't have an appointment.
Who do I have to screw around here to see an immigration supervisor?
Me.
Thanks, Cupcake.
That's going to be a problem. All flights from the Kakuma refugee camp have been stopped.
Since 9/11, the program here is stopped indefinitely. She's a child refugee of war.
You sure you're ready to take this on?
Definitely.
You're being asked to make choices no one should have to make.
I don't think they're gonna make it if they're not together.
I will pray for you, Yardi.
Yardi?
It is a special name for you. It means great white cow.
Well, it's better than a lot of things I've been called.
Holy crap! You can't just break into somebody's house!
There is a reason you do not have a husband.
Okay, thank you so much.
I hope you've enjoyed this very special First Word program and a look at the movie, The Good Lie. It's a powerful film and a great reminder of what makes America great, and that the best gift Americans can give to others is the gift of freedom. I hope you've enjoyed the First Word today, and thanks for your support of this very network. Until next time, God bless.